Hi there everyone, welcome back. It's been a while since I posted. What I've done is I've shut down the system to give it a clean. Over the last couple of months it's obviously collected a fair bit of dust, especially on the fans and in the heat sinks of the GPUs, as well as the CPU fan and heat sink. So I've shut it down, I've given it a good dusting, I've vacuumed it out, I've done the whole thing. And while I've done that, I know I got a little bit of hate in some of the comments for my power supply being in the big box. So what I've done is I've pulled it out of the box and I've made a muffler unit based on a 50 caliber rifle. And I think I'm within about 3 or 4 decibels of what it was in the actual box. So I'm quite happy with that. Now, for those who've been asking, this is my power supply. It's an 1800 watt server system, and it's only got these connectors, the 6 and 8 pin, the 8 pin connectors, which do convert to 6. And all I've done is I've muffled it. I've got foam inside this box. These are the only air inlets that feed in, so as the air goes through, the sound gets dampened by the foam that is in here, and then it goes through there, it comes out the other side. That block of foam actually has it's basically a big donut, and then as it goes around the corner it gets swept off into nowhere land, so that it doesn't annoy me while I'm sleeping. So I think I had it at about 40 decibels, and where I've got it I think is about 43 at the moment. So I'm not complaining about that. 3 decibels is basically the next level of where human hearing would notice a change, so it's only slightly louder. So the box now is just going to be where the rack, where the frame sits on now. But what I'll have to do with the power supply being outside and the cables being over there, I'm just going to have to turn it around so that I'll be looking at the fans, which is no big deal. All I'll be looking at is the little Wi-Fi unit that's down here and the 4 fans, so there's no big problem with that. It's all cleaned out, so I'm going to hook it up and fire it up and we'll be ready to go. So stand by. Okay, so we're hooked up and we're ready to go. One thing about this power supply is you have to manually turn it on. There's a standard rocker switch on the side here where you've got to manually turn it on. The power switch that comes with this motherboard has no effect on it. It just keeps running. So we'll manually turn it on and then I'll go through a couple of other little things. Okay, stand by for noise. That is significantly quieter than it has been, and without the buffer at the front there and the deflector at the back, that would be significantly louder, as in 20 decibels louder. So that's now running. You'll notice the fans are not running at the moment. The reason is they have these standard, I think they're Molex connectors, which for the old connectors for the old hard drives back in the day. So what I've got is I went and bought this cable. It's got Molex on one side and the modular connector on the other, and this plugs into one of the spare motherboard ports. So if I want these to run, I can either hook them onto the end of the riser where there's a connector there, but I've got to do it individually, and the blades are plastic but they still give you a bit of a nip when they get you on the knuckle, or I can just plug it in. So what I'll do later is I'll plug that in and it'll be ready to go. So I've got that all running, and I'll just make sure everything's good and then I'll come back to you again. Okay, so we're up and running, doing Ethereum and Zilliqa. So pays me double. At the moment it's earning about between 8 and 9 US dollars per day, plus about 4 or 5 Zilliqa. So it's actually been running really well. Now I'm using the current T-Rex, which is 0.247. One big plus about this is over the previous ones, they've really improved the hash rate on the LHR cards. Now it starts at 74, where it's been starting at 69. So I'm getting comfortable average of about 107 to 108. As you can see, it starts at 74. After 20 minutes that will jump up, and then after an hour it'll jump up again. So and as you can see, T-Rex 0.247. Everything running smooth. Yeah, so 106. It works out to be about 30 or 40 extra accepted shares per day for 3 cards. So you're looking at about 10 shares that you otherwise wouldn't be getting paid for, just in that little jump. So as it really is worth checking regularly for updates on the software that you're using, because it does make a difference to the payout. Rather than getting $6 a day, you could be getting $8 a day. So keep looking, keep wandering around and seeing what's there, whether NB Miner or LOL Miner or T-Rex or any other one, Phoenix Miner, whether they give you the best result for the product, for the items you have, and for the system you're running. I'm going to fire up these fans, and you'll hear a sound that's very familiar when you're on the internet, when you're looking at these rigs. Just bear with me a moment, because I've got to put the phone down while I connect this up. But basically what I've done, it's plugged into spare port, and I'm just going to hook this up. I'm just going to fire this up. So all the fans are running, and you'll note that at the moment they're around 55 degrees at 99 watts. In half a minute that'll spool up another summary, but it's a whole mass of little bees, and that's the reason I don't have it on constantly, because it is quite loud and it can be quite draining to listen to constantly. But as you can see, the new update, 53 degrees now, they will drop down to about 50 degrees. So cooling on these things is absolutely not a problem. What you will find though is that the temperature does climb, because you're adding another 40 watts or whatever it is for the 4 fans. So not that it's a problem. I've got the sensor just underneath, in front of that block of foam on the underside, so that it's the air coming out that I'm having a look at. So it's no big problem there. If I turn those off, that will drop straight away back down below 30 degrees. Yeah, as you see, just constantly lowering. On the next video, I've got a really exciting piece of software. It's actually a website, and it lets you use the mining software that you're comfortable with, but it lets you mine coins that you wouldn't normally be able to mine. So I'll get around to that one very, very soon. At the moment I'm playing with a couple of coins to see how they go, and I'm doing CPU and GPU mining on it. So that's going to be an interesting one, and it will let you gain some altcoins that you may normally have to buy And it'll also let you get a few shit coins as well if you just want to have a bit of fun. So I'll be back with that very soon. Good luck, everyone.